Hello and welcome to this edition of Community Voices Uganda on Civic Space TV. I am Phillip Mulissa. You're all very welcome to this conversation, and on this episode, we are discussing the role of citizens in the quest for free and fair elections in Uganda, but also at a wider scale in East Africa and the African continent, but also we know that we live in a globalized world now. Whatever we speak and whatever opinions and thoughts we share are actually thoughts that are to be shared globally and from across the entire world. My name is Phillip Mulissa, and on this conversation, I'm joined by a panel of distinguished citizens of this country, whom I will ask to talk to my viewers briefly about themselves and where they are, and certainly we can continue with the conversation. I'll start with you, Comrade Sam Bulombi. Sam is the National Resistance Movement Youth Leader from Mbale City. Sam, greetings, you're welcome to the conversation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mulissa Phillip. By names, I'm called Sam Bulombi. I'm the NRM Youth League Chairman in Mbale City. I'm glad to be a part of this engagement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us, and we're eager to see what you have to share with us on the conversation. Oh, I also have a very powerful lady on the panel, and that is Madam Sarah Nakintu. Sarah is the first chairperson of the InterParty Women Platform. Sarah, greetings. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mulissa. Yes, I'm Nakintu Sarah. I am a proud member of the Alliance for National Transformation. And I am the vice chairperson of the ANT Women's League. Yeah, I'm also the first chairperson of the InterParty Women's Platform. I am a former contestant for Mukono Woman Member of Parliament. And I'll be contesting for the open seat this time round for Mukono Municipality. Yes, and I'm also the vice president of the Sub-Saharan Jewish Alliance. I'm the founder of Shalom Women's Development Network. I reside in Mukono. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us. And I told you you had the very many hats she wears, and certainly we wish you the best of luck in the forthcoming engagements and endeavors that you mentioned, the open seat in Mukono Municipality and all the other engagements you undertake. And certainly we're happy to have you and to hear from you. And I should start with you because you wear those very many hats, but also you've had the experience of this, and this is where our conversation is going to start, Sarah. We are talking about the role of citizens in the quest for free and fair elections in this country. And I know that is one of the calls the Alliance for National Transformation has been making for some time. But I want to pick your thoughts before we get into that conversation. When we look back, especially at the 2021 general elections, because we speak free and fair, how would you rate that election? And in your words and in your view, how did that election go? Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the 2026 elections, I can term it as a brutal election. It wasn't free and fair. As we always say, we should have a free and fair election. It wasn't. It was brutalized. It was militarized. We saw military all over the area. We saw an incident where they in it, and we saw numerous RDCs.
Yes, Sarah, I seem to have lost you. Do you hear me? Oh, all right, I think we have connectivity challenges with Sarah, but we shall have her back as she reconnects the conversation. But Sarah, you can hear me?
I went off. So we can say it wasn't an election, but it was something close to an election due to the violence that was there and the rigging and all the malpractices. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. She says it wasn't an election. She says it was not free and fair. She says it was brutal. She says it was militarized and very powerful. She says it was something close to an election. And some, those are very powerful statements to hear. And we are talking about a political actor here. The NRM government boasts to have won that election very highly, and certainly it is in power until 2026. Are you proud of the record and mark you left from the 2021 general elections? Yes, Sam.
Yes, from my point of view, contrary to what Sarah saying, I think elections were free and fair, because usually we come out of elections and the disgruntled people have always run to courts of law to seek for what they term as justice, but at the end of the day, the courts of law end up justifying whatever actions or whatever activities that took place in that election. Now, the intention, the purpose of security in this election is basically, we all know, is to keep law and order, to ensure that people are running to their day-to-day activities without any inconveniences. So most of those incidences that we see government or UPDF or police taking center stage in dispersing crowds, usually it's because these the people who are taking rallies or organizing to do rallies in different places usually are not in liaison with the government or with the security agencies. That's why they have always come up to ensure that there is law and order. We've seen people smash, people grabbing phones from the people in the public, boys running up and down, stealing people's merchandise, what on streets. So we need security in all these things, because without security, people would be inconvenienced. We
So
say
Sam,
that yes.
if you allow me on that specific point, where do we draw the line between maintaining security, law and order, and overreaching the mandate of the Electoral Commission and indeed trying to influence the electoral activity?
Okay, I think we need to draw the line between the laws that are governing elections. There are specific guidelines for candidates, for presidential aspirants, on which they should follow in doing mobilization, in gatherings. We have a Public Order Management Act, and any candidate, anybody seeking to mobilize people in a certain area.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm hearing from you, Sam, and as you reconnect, you talk to us about that election having been free and fair. And you still tell us that the presence of the military, the presence of the police is to maintain law and order. And you, of course, talk about the presence of courts where people who think things didn't go well should seek justice, and also mentioning a series of laws, including the Public Order Management Act and indeed any other laws that should be used in that particular regard. And Sarah, I know you listened to that, and I saw you to try to react to that in body language, but certainly you're going to react to it. But as you react to it, I also want you to speak about, when you look at the nature of elections, from the way we hold them, from how the Electoral Commission, and I know the roadmap is already out there, we are very soon heading into elections of special interest groups, the youth, the women, the persons with disabilities, and many of those. I want you to speak to, with reference to what Sam has just talked about, the structure of our electoral process, from how it is conducted, from the authority of the Electoral Commission to how the state and where they get the resources and who is supposed to man and the staff and everything. Do you think this is a structure that will deliver that you seek? Because you've mentioned personally, and indeed the Alliance for National Transformation, that you've not seen a free and fair election. So the kind of structures we have it today, is it able to deliver that you seek in the next election? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that great question. One, the structure of the election in Uganda has two components. We can look at the framework, and we can also look at the electoral administration. On the framework, we have two key things. Yeah, we can look at the Electoral Commission itself. It is supposed to conduct, to manage, to have a transparency elections. Yeah, full of integrity, and name it. But when you look at it, first of all, it is not independent. So it cannot deliver to its maximum. Secondly, it is also under, what can I say? It is also under siege.
Sarah, when you say the Electoral Commission is not independent and now you continue to say it is under siege, what does that exactly mean? Because as far as I know, it is called the Independent Electoral Commission of the Republic of Uganda, with offices, and it tells us it conducts the elections in this country. What do you mean not independent?
Okay, first of all, it is appointed by the president. If the Electoral Commission was voted in or elected by the mandates of Parliament and not the top leadership, like the president, it would be independent and it would work as expected. Now, for example, it is just in a drink of an eye. I can give you an instance. In the 2021 elections, what happened in Mukono? One honorable brought in ballot boxes that were ticked from a certain area. And what happened at the Tale Center, it was like, we had a voice of a person, I would not speak out here, saying, the president said all tricks and all plays should be done in the field and not at the Tale Center. So I'm not going to accept this here. What did that imply? That the president gave instructions to the NRM as they were campaigning, voting, and everything. So whatever they had to do was to be done in the field and not at the Tale Center. So that shows that Electoral Commission is not independent, because also the Electoral Commission in Mukono had to say that. Secondly, if they cannot work on, like, for example, the complaints that are being brought during elections and after elections, so are they independent? They are not. In the drink of an eye, we went and visited the Electoral Commission as the InterParty Women's Platform. We had our grievances and we had some reforms we would love to see. But speaking to them, we realized they are also under captivity, because they said the violence we face is the same violence they also face. And they said their hands are tied as well. And they said,
Sarah, say that again. You take a complaint to an arbiter and it tells you that they are actually also facing violence. Is that true?
Yes, that is what they said. We had a chat with them for hours. They gave us audience as the InterParty Women's Platform. So they also said, and they also agreed, that they don't see other violences taking place, and they didn't know that it was their mandate. They directed us to police. We should go to police. And they said if complaints come within 24 hours, then they have no where they are going to come in. So we have seen a lot of times where the presidential convoy or the president is coming to campaign for a candidate in that area, and they restrict other candidates to go into the designated areas. We do harmonizing. And when you call the Electoral Commission, they say, you know, the president is the one coming. So what is the process of harmonizing for? If we harmonize, let what we all agreed take precedent. But after harmonizing and the president is coming, everything is changed. All this is seen in the several by-elections, in campaigns, and everything.
Sarah,
So
the president should be protected, not so.
No, the president should follow guidelines as well. If harmonization took place, let the president and his candidates follow the process that was agreed.
Thank you so much. Please conclude on that.
Yes, and also when we see like the reading of results, for example, in the last elections, honestly, results from Kampala were read the following day, and we received the results from Gulu, Apache, Nakasongola, name it, on the first day. What is the criteria used? And also in the announcing, they start saying, we are on 56% out of the blue. Where does that come from? In just 2 hours of announcing, they say 65% NRM. Then the others are following. Where does that come from? Honestly speaking, they should tell us. They should begin from 10%. NRM is having like 7%, and yes, then you go gradually, but they begin from the top and say 65%. Honestly, it is as if they are reading the previous results, not the current results that were already sent to the tally centers.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah, for that. And you raised a couple of issues. I don't know if Sam has all the responses to all or some of those, but Sam, I know you were still making your submission when you left, but important things emerge here, and one of them is the fact that the president, who actually is also a candidate in an election, is fond of disorganizing the campaign plans of other candidates, of other parties. And did you find that fair and just to the other candidates? But also, as we continue with this, the structure of our electoral system, including, you had Sarah mention the fact that the electoral chair, the commissioners appointed by the presidency, and the fact that they are also under siege, according to her, and many other things. Are these things that can produce a free and fair election in this country? Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry once again, Mr. Mulissa, I had some interruption with my Wi-Fi network, but I have now rectified that. Yes, what Sarah is talking about, I will start by the point of the president disorganizing other candidates. That's why it is not possible, because these people draw roadmaps for each and every campaign. They submit to Electoral Commission, and usually, historically, the president has always followed his campaign trail and program. Issues arise when these opposition candidates are trying to draw attention to capture the media. They want to be seen as though they are being disenfranchised, being not given the opportunity to campaign. But
Sam,
when they, yes.
Sam, if you allow me, just about 2 or 3 months ago, we had a by-election in Kawempe North. Yes, in the replacement of the Honorable, the late Muhammad Segirinya. And we saw on the last day of campaign, when the president was coming to Kawempe, the grounds where the National Unity Platform was supposed to hold their final campaign rally was actually condoned off by security operatives from what came to be known as the Special Force Command, and they were instructed to go and find another location where they can have that rally, because the president was coming to use a nearby playground. Did you find that fair? And in any case, should it happen that way?
Now, that incident, I remember the police made a statement and said NUP had not sought for permission to hold whatever they intended to hold at that time. Now, in such a scenario, you cannot blame the president, because all these people had the programs, okay? all of them had programs which they had to follow. And if you have a program and you know you are going to have a rally in such and such a place, inform the nearby security to put security measures into consideration. You get it? I'm sure what security coming up and condoning that place, it was for the safety of the people, not just a small group of NUP members around. Are you getting that? So there we can't blame the president. And in the future, let all candidates should follow the laws that govern elections and follow the programs that they always come up with. So that's the reason I can say about that. It wasn't the president's fault that these people had to be treated in the way they were treated.
Thank you so much.
At the end of the day, we look at what is the better good. It is the good of the majority, and Ugandans are the majority. You get it?
Sam, what you're saying is not true. They had all the opportunity to be there, and they had sought, yes, for the mandate to be there.
Police denied them.
Police did not deny in the first place. He gave them a go-ahead. But when the president had interest to say that I am in the nearby position, they shouldn't be near me. That is why the police then changed. But this has happened also in, okay, let me also give you information. We had a by-election in Serere. We are supposed to be in one area and the president came. Do you know that the president came and occupied our space where we had to be when he was campaigning for the flag bearer that very day? Or was he Oucho or something like that? The president came and denied us the space, and even the military electrified the area where we are going to pass to go to another direction. So that is the game of the NRM all the time.
Okay, always, you see, your opposition always comes up with the reasons to justify why they are in the situation they are in. You get it? They always find a way of justifying why they are where they are. But as a country,
it is not just justifying, it is reality. It is reality, Sam.
You see, when the after the elections of 2021, the president made it clear that by 2026, there won't be opposition in the country. And we have seen a lot of opposition members crossing to NRM. You get it? Now, opposition, they are looking for relevance, trying to put, to try to justify why claiming they are still strong, but they have no ground at all. You get it? Now, when you say the president has blocked you, can't you, perhaps it's a mismatch of information. You get it? It could have been a mismatch of information. Maybe you got information, but because you want cameras to capture you wherever you are, you go ahead and try to inconvenience or to go against.
I was on ground in Serere supporting my candidate, Honorable Ali Salaso. So I was on ground and I'm giving you first-hand information.
even as we were there. So whatever you're talking about is a lie, Madam Sarah.
So now you know what happened exactly. Second, did you witness RDC's 56 RDC's cars in that election? Yeah. Did you witness RDC's cars taking ballot stuff to the tally center?
Yeah, you don't have evidence of that. All that
malpractice happened. Did you see the battalion that was in Serere? Because you were there and you saw this live.
The security was there to keep law and order to ensure that the elections were free and fair.
Did you see?
All right, colleagues, thank you so much for that, and I love that. But certainly, you look at there is a disagreement between the role of the police and the military in the electoral activity, and certainly we know that we are already into an electoral year. And like I mentioned, around July, we're going to have special interest groups getting into their elections. We know political parties are heading into primaries, and certainly later we shall have nominations for members of parliament and the president that will lead into the election next year. Going into such an intense season like we're talking about today, what should be done? What can be done to see that this country has that kind of election? Yes, I know some you say that we had a free and fair election in 2021, but many reports, many individuals, many, including government sources, will say the contrary. And certainly we want to see that even when things are good, we can make them better and certainly meet the criteria and the standards that speak to a free, fair, credible election. As we move to the electoral season, what guarantees do we need? What should we do to make sure we get that kind of election that we are looking for as a country? I should start with you, Sarah. What should we do? What can be done? Where should we change to make sure we get the election that the Alliance for National Transformation wants this country to have, and certainly have many of its leaders ascend into positions of leadership like yourself and all the others? Yes, Sarah. Kindly unmute and speak to.
Sorry. Yeah, one is to have an independent and impartial electoral commission. That is one. Two, we should have transparent voter registration. You know, it is always a trick of the NRM. When they are registering voters, also the NRM is registering their voters close to the same areas. So most times, voters who are not knowledgeable enough will end up registering in the NRM books, hoping that they are registering for the national elections. So if it is done like that, most voters are compromised. They end up registering into the NRM books other than the national voter registry, like the books for voter registration. Then we also need equal access to media. In times like this, NRM tends to go on all spaces of media, one, because they have the money. And media tend to hike airtime to be on radios. So most times the opposition is blocked, and mostly on government media houses. They tend also to give the NRM much time. This was evident when I went to you, was it Star TV? Yes, during the previous campaigns. The NRM candidate was given much time compared to us from the other opposition. Then also campaign financing. Since NRM has a lot of money, it is going to corrupt members. From the last campaign we have seen in Kawempe, 6 billion shillings in such a by-election was too much of a waste in that election. So you can imagine what is going to happen in the upcoming elections. Then secure voting systems should be in place. We find areas where we have pre-ticked ballot books that even come into the Tare Center in the morning, and boxes are just ticked and full. We find vehicles of the army officials, or even vehicles that are numberless, moving around with pre-ticked books and finding ways of putting them into the tally center if it is done right away during that day. So we should see a secure voting system. Then we should also want to see freedom of speech in the areas. You see, most times the opposition is blocked from conducting rallies, time given, they can say that until 6 in the evening, you should not be campaigning, but you find the NRM even campaigning past midnight. So we should see freedom of speech all the time, equally. Then domestic, we should have observers who are domestic and international. They should be accepted. The other time we had limited observers internationally, even organizations that wanted to observe were restricted. I can give you an instance. We applied to the Electoral Commission as the InterParty Women's Platform to have candidates who are going to observers. Till to date, they just called maybe to find certain key things, but they haven't given us any reply. And we wanted to have observers from the InterParty Women's Platform and even from other political parties. But this is always denied. It is denied. Then we should see effective processes of handling disputes during and after elections. That is also missing in the country. Then we would have seen voter education at this time going on. But the process is limited. We also applied to the Electoral Commission to do voter education because I know we can do it properly. Since we are candidates and since we have organizations, even like the private sector and civic society would love to do that, but it is also a hindrance to us. Electoral Commission is not doing enough. Then we should also see media doing all these campaigns or like conducting these sessions during day. They always call upon these engagements at night, 10 a.m., 3, like 9 at night. Women are not given the opportunity. One, we are not safe during the road at night. And it is quite a time hard for us to be out at that time. So if these things could take on during the day, it would allow many, many more women. We are going to see less women in these coming elections. One, because of the brutalization, the militarization, the violence that is high. Can we see the army off the elections? We saw some areas in Western Uganda where we had our candidates in the ANC, where the army voted. And during the morning, they were telling members, we have voted the president and the area MP, go and vote for the woman MP. Initially, where does that happen in the country? We would have candidates who would go through in the past election, but due to militarization and army engaging into the electoral process, we lost Karuhanga, we lost Mwiru, we lost Kasiano Wadri. Those candidates, they would have been in parliament per now as ANC candidates. So can we see also the respect for human rights prevailing this time round in the country? Then also timely transporting of like the election results and announcement should be done timely. We shouldn't wait and say probably things are not yet around, the vehicles are not functioning in the field, name it. The boats are not working. For us, we have electoral areas in the lakeside regions here, but ballots, like boxes, take a while to come, and they said the boat did not set off. Meanwhile, the NRM is still ticking ballot books in that area. So let us try to have free and fair election this time round. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for that. And you raised very many important things and issues there. Certainly, I know some might not agree with many of them, but certainly some, even with a good system, there is always room for improvement. What are some of those areas you think we can have improvement as we head into the 2026 general election?
Now, thank you so much, Mr. Mulissa, once again. Where we can have improvement, I think one, Electoral Commission needs to come out and do a lot of voter sensitization and give enough information to candidates to enable their voters learn on what is supposed to be done in elections and probably be on the ground, because most of the things that Sarah is putting across, I will tell you that here in Mbale City, Alliance for National Transformation, it is there is totally no member here in Mbale City for Alliance for National Transformation.
Why is that?
Yeah, they don't have structures. We've never seen their representation here in Mbale. So I think Sarah they need to do a lot as a party, as Alliance for National Transformation. Apparently, NRM just finished its village structures, as you are aware. We've mobilized the villages and we've nominated the people on all NRM positions at village level. We have 30 members of NRM at each village in this country as we talk now. People are going into elections on Tuesday next week. We shall be voting who will be the mobilizers of NRM in each village, 30 members per village. When we talk about Alliance for National Transformation, there is nothing, and you can also witness that. So when Sarah is talking about talking about militarization, where are they? They are just at the center, sitting in Kampala, doing mobilization on social media, and voters are on the ground. Let them go on the ground, mobilize people, let them build their structures, and so that they can always be talking about free and fair elections. Because if we are mobilizing our people and you come up and say you've been cheated, we've been ballot stuffing, without any proof, where were your people? Now, Electoral Commission needs to sensitize people. Voters need to turn up and participate. We need to create awareness. We need to inform electorates that they can't be easily manipulated by politicians. You get it? We need to demand, voters need to be taught to demand accountability from their electoral bodies. You get it? Now, Electoral Commission needs to give accountability also to the members of public, that yes, here we conducted an election and this was the result. This was the result. And like they have always done. But members of the opposition, always, they don't care about what Electoral Commission, because like you've heard she say that there is no an independent Electoral Commission. Now, if you know there is no an independent Electoral Commission, how are you going to, where do you get the guts to go and pick nomination forms and go and participate in an election which the independent Electoral Commission you are criticizing has organized? You get it? That's point number one. Because if you're saying the elections are never free and fair, and if you have issues you're raising right now that didn't go well in the last elections, where do you get the guts at this point in time to even go and update your voter information in the register if you don't have confidence?
So in other words, are you telling the people that if you are hungry and your appetite is calling for chicken, but beans are available, you shouldn't have that meal?
No. You see,
can I reply to Sam?
No, you see, let me tell you. Madam Sarah needs to first of all account to themselves and see if they are actually eligible, if there is enough systems in place to deliver for them what they see as a free and fair elections. You get it? But by the mere fact that they have gone ahead to update their information in the registers, by the mere fact that they are gearing up to go and pick nomination forms from Electoral Commission, it means they are already believing in the system. You get it? They are already believing that there is an independent Electoral Commission which is going to deliver for them a free and fair elections. That's why they are eager to go and pick. Like she said, she's going to Mukono municipality. You get it? She's already campaigning. What does that show you? It means she has belief, but they just want to talk and hoodwink people. You get it? They want to hoodwink voters out there that the government has not done enough, yet themselves they are beneficiaries of the system. You get it? So we need to educate our
people. Sam, hope is not lost, first of all. We have hope that things can change if we are in there. That is one. Secondly, we are here to fight till the last minute. That is why you see I can still pick up nomination forms, I can still campaign, because we need good and upright people in these political areas. That is one. Secondly, I would love to inform you, have seen General and the ANT committee moving around, making structures. We have made structures even in Mbale, even across the country. A few areas that we have not reached due to lack of resources. But we have made structures. We have a lot of coordinators. We have many people in all areas that we have gone to.
Thank you so much, colleagues. And we are on Community Voices Uganda, and the conversation is around the role of citizens in creating a free and fair election in this country. And at this moment, we are joined by Bwambale Chrispus Mavuya. Chrispus, greetings, welcome to the conversation, and I want to engage you immediately. To talk to me, what Sam and Sarah are saying is they failed to agree on which is the right system and which is wrong and who is delivering and who is not delivering. In your view, are we able to have a free and fair election in 2026? And in any case, what are we supposed to do to have that election delivered to this country? Yes, Chrispus. Chrispus, if you can still hear me. I think you have connection challenges, but if you can still hear me, I want to pick your thoughts on how we have a good election and certainly what needs to be done for that election to be delivered to the people of Uganda. Yes, Chrispus, if you can hear me, please. Chrispus is having connectivity challenges, but we shall hear from him as he settles and we get to pick his thoughts about this particular subject, but also how we can make this particular process better and progressive. Sarah, you are talking to us about that issue. I want to pick your thoughts on, you see, we speak about all these challenges you mentioned and what can be improved, but the citizens of Mukono, the citizens of Rukunjiri, the citizens in Nakapiripirit, Kaperabiong, and all those areas across the country, how can they be of help? How can they participate in the improvement of these things? You talk about freedom of speech, media, you talk about an independent electoral commission, transportation of election material, equal access to media, secure voting systems. How can the citizens participate in making sure we achieve this? Certainly so, because the election in the end is to the benefit of these very citizens. Do they have a role to play?
Okay, thank you so much. One, the citizens should register to vote. By this time, they should have registered. Now they are updating. They finished updating and now we are checking whether our names are there and everything. One, they should register to vote. Secondly, they should stay informed, following at every level. Then, like, thirdly, they should volunteer to observe, vote, stay around, see whether other malpractices are taking place and everything. Then also they should participate in the voter education. We see instances where people come to vote and they don't know who are they voting. Are we voting the mayor? Honorable, who are we voting today? So whoever has the knowledge and what is prevailing and what is going on should educate others in their communities to be at par at every stage in these processes. Then what else can they do? They can engage in reporting all malpractices that are happening, either at the tally center, anything they see around, they should engage in the reporting. Then they should also respect the processes that are going on in their areas. For example, if they say, come and vote, voting begins at 7 a.m. They should be there. They should respect all those processes. Be there on time, vote, and do the needful. All that should be done. Then they should also support the Electoral Commission in doing their work. For example, if they brought someone and the person on the tally center is like trying to corrupt the agents and do what, they should speak out and they say, the residing officer they have given us, or the returning officer is engaging in this, they should do so they should support them. All that should be done by the citizens around us. And then also after the elections, yeah, they should accept the outcome. If the counting was real and everything was on point, you should accept the outcome. Then also hold our leaders accountable in these areas where we are. And then also like to promote the electoral reforms. I think they have a right and they can engage in various key activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for those. And if I come to you, Sam, I don't know, Mr. Bwambale, are you able to hear me now? Chrispus, if you can hear me, kindly unmute and say something.
Yes, Mr. Mulissa, Philip, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And quickly, I want to pick your thoughts on the electoral process and what you think is the ideal electoral system we should have, and certainly how we can achieve a free and fair election in the coming general election 2026. Yes, Chrispus.
Okay, thank you for hosting us, Mr. Lisa Philip. Glad to meet you again. It's been a long time, but my network had disturbed, Kasese issues, floods are disturbing us, and electricity had gone, network has disturbed, but greetings to all the moderators of the platform. I greet you, Sarah Nakintu and Bulombi Sam, very well. Now, Mr. Moderator, allow me to apologize for joining you late, but it was not for my own making, but it was maybe that is God's timing. I wanted to put me on the video because I'm not seeing myself.
It's okay.
Now, bring again the question that you asked.
How does Uganda get a free and fair election in 2026? What should be done, and is it achievable?
You are asking very many questions in a very short sentence. Begin with one and I will answer each question.
Chrispus, you can hear me?
Yes, I am saying you have asked me very many questions, but bring one question, and I will answer each and every question as you note.
Yes. I want to pick your thoughts on whether Uganda is able to have a free and fair election in 2026.
A free and fair election.
Yes, sir.
Now, to me, as Bwambale Chrispus Mavuya, the district youth councillor for Kasese, Uganda can get a free and fair election in two ways. Actually, it is two ways. Are you noting? Are you listening to me?
Yes, I have you, sir. I have you, sir, and I will request
Now,
that our time is really very much fast spent. You try to be a little brief and in summary of your submission, sir.
now, first of all, I do that I subscribe to as a person. Now, I would request that the opposition shouldn't be brutalized. That is my request, number one. Number two, let the election be independent, the way it is. Number three, the ruling party that I subscribe to as NRM, we shouldn't interfere in those elections. That is number one. Another thing, we subscribe to a multi-party dispensation. Every person has the right to subscribe to his or her own party. If we were to have a free and fair election, I wouldn't want that somebody has been arrested because of this or this or this or that, the way I understand. So to me, I would request that each and every person should exercise his or her own rights to exercise the elections as in for his own. That's number one. Number two,
Yes, thank you, Chrispus, for those thoughts, and certainly so they will count in the build-up of the 2026 general election. Colleagues, our time is very much fast spent. We have about 5 minutes to really rest this matter, and by way of giving your final remarks, I'll request you to give me projections for the 2026 general election. What do you see happening in that election, and certainly do we all anticipate, first of all, to be victors in our own dimensions, but two, to get that particular election that delivers the things we need to see delivered in this country? I'll start with you, Sam.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Mulissa, once again. In my final remarks, I want to put across that one, our citizens need to actively participate in the electoral process, one, by registering, which they did, and most importantly, turning out to vote on the elections day. They should turn out and vote. Now, citizens also need to seek accurate information on the candidates and their platforms. Okay? Because an informed citizen is the one that can make an informed decision. They also need to demand accountability from the current leadership. They need to report irregularities.
Maybe a very quick one, if you allow me. I know you have 1 minute, but are you ready to give that accountability?
Yes, yes. For us as NRM, we've given accountability. As you can see, the president is
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Kindly make it brief. We're out of time.
Yes, our manifesto as a party, NRM party, as you can see, it's almost 90% complete. People are getting PDM money. People are engaging in economic activities. At least their livelihoods have improved from the previous.
Thank you so much, Sam, for that. And a key highlight there is that the NRM manifesto is 90% complete. Very interesting it is to learn that. And Sarah, what's your projection for the coming election as you give your final remarks quite briefly? Kindly unmute.
Well, thank you so much. One, increased brutalization of the media personnel will be high, not only the media, but also the members of the opposition. There will be high physical violence, there will be beating, there will be shooting. Abductions have started now. Members of the National Unity Platform are being abducted day and night. So if they have begun now, so what is happening in the future? Then we also heard that the NRM has trained youths who are just there ready to sabotage campaigns. That will also happen. Then we will see increased police brutality. That is going to happen. Arrests are going to be very, very many. There will be disruption of rallies. Honestly, I'm seeing double violence in these upcoming elections. And we are going to see the president coming back in these elections, and we would have thought it would be high time for him to say enough is enough. So basically, I can speak about that.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And Chrispus, what do you expect to see in the coming election? Chrispus,
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. What are your expectations for the forthcoming general election?
My expectations are around the 6 issues. Number one, let the voters participate in peaceful protests. Peaceful protests, I guess you understand me, because you can peacefully protest electoral commission. I mean electoral injustices or irregularities. That is number one. Number two, Let the voters also participate in the voter registration. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you,
Number
sir.
3, let the voters volunteer to mobilize the other citizens so that they can also participate in the electoral process. Number 4, let them demand accountability from the leaders that are coming to them who have been there in a peaceful way, because that can, it is a transparency and they can give accountability. And then the last one is let them stay informed. Whatever thing they do, they should stay informed. I'll give you this element. Language Kasese. I speak verbatim language that omulere ayikola eyomutawo. Literally meaning him or herself to the hospital. So that is being informed. So that is how I can conclude.
Yes, thank you so much, Bwana Chrispus, for those thoughts you've shared with us, and certainly so for the rest of the team. Once again, Bulombi Sam, thank you so much for your thoughts and for making time for the conversation. Sam is the NRM Youth League Chairperson in Mbale City. Thank you so much. And Bwambale Chrispus from Kasese, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your thoughts. And certainly we sympathize with you. You know, floods are affecting that part of the country recently. It's a rainy season. We sympathize with whatever is happening there.
Actually,
And we
even
pray
yesterday,
that
stepped away, even yesterday, people
you are
even
able to find comfort and peace. And lastly, Ms. Sarah Nakintu, the chairperson of the InterParty Women Platform, a member of the Alliance for National Transformation, chairperson NUP Women's ANT Women's League, I beg your pardon, and aspiring MP for Mkono Municipality. Thank you so much for your thoughts and for making time for the conversation. And to you, our viewers, thank you so much for keeping it Community Voices Uganda on Civic Space TV. Special thanks to the technical team and special thanks to all our partners and the Center for Constitutional Governance for putting this together and making sure we are here to speak and add a voice and thought and opinion to the development of our country. I am Phillip Mulissa, and I wish all of you a good day and may you have freedom always.